Is it expensive to have a trust? Hmm. That answer for that question, it actually depends. Because when something is actually expensive, in my analysis, it's when the benefits of having it actually are less than the cost of having it. If someone, for that instance, wants to have a trust, but they're not generating income or they don't have assets to preserve within the trust, should I recommend them to have a trust? Maybe not. If someone doesn't have children, minor children, or for that matter, they don't have dependents that might be mentally handicapped, that they're concerned about their well being should they pass on, would I recommend that person? Maybe not. If, for that matter, you don't have wealth to protect, or you're just working 9 to 5 and you don't have other means or other portfolio to protect, you don't have wealth to protect, would I recommend a trust to you? Maybe not. Right. So, having a trust and also comparing the cost of having that trust, it depends on what you're going to be using that particular trust for. Then you can then equate the cost and versus the benefits of having that particular trust. Do you have maybe portfolio that you're worried about estate duty? Should you pass on, they're potentially going to be paying high taxes. Or for that matter, you're concerned about having to pay an executor fees who's going to wind up your estate, and your estate is actually significant. Maybe it's not a good idea to be building that wealth within your name. Maybe should be considering building that wealth using a trust. You see, that is sort of things that one has to apply her or his mind when deciding whether a trust is worth it. You cannot just look at the amount that you need to spend in terms of registering the trust, because you may find that the cost of registering a trust it's once of course say 4 grand, 5 grand, 10 grand, depending on the complexity of your trust. Then versus the administration cost, which can ranges anything from 1,000 rand a month going forward. But you need to look at potentially what are the other costs should you not have a trust. Because if, for instance, you're sitting on asset portfolio that's say 5 million, 10 million, 15 million, unless you are a heavy property investor, or for that matter, you've got pension funds, you've got other type of investments, life policies, payout. If we're to take all those things and then calculate 3.5% of those things, what potentially would the executor's fees be charging your estate? It can be such a serious amount. What solution do you have in place to actually ensure that that particular executor's fees are not coming from your estate? Because you're going to dilute your wealth, right? So those are some consideration. But potentially, what will the tax implications be? How much of taxes are you going to pay should you not be having a trust? Hmm. Those that's how you're going to analyze whether a trust is expensive or not expensive in relation to you, because that's why it's a relative issue. Okay? Not a trust. Trust is not relevant to everyone, right? But some people really need a trust. So you need to do that assessment. That's why estate planning is very important. Good luck.